Hi, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television this Saturday morning. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us start the bulletin with the headlines. Sober Onam celebrations in Kerala today as efforts continue on rebuilding the flood-battered state. Chief Minister announces 10,000 rupees to be transferred to the bank accounts of people in relief camps. Union Health Ministry allocates additional grant of 18.71 crore rupees towards the flood relief efforts. Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh on alert as Met Office warns of a very heavy rainfall today and tomorrow. Himachal government orders closure of all educational institutions in Kangra and Mandi. Union Minister Nirmala Sitharaman visits a flood-affected Kodagu district, assures the people of Army's help in rebuilding damaged roads. Ahead of next year's Lok Sabha elections, the Election Commission calls an all-party meeting on Monday. Commission seeking views of all 7 registered national political parties and 51 state political parties on measures to improve accuracy of electoral rolls. President Donald Trump says the U.S. Secretary of State won't go to North Korea, criticizes Pyongyang's denuclearization progress, also lambasts China for not putting enough pressure on North Korea. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was to make his 4th visit to North Korea next week. And in Asian Games, the Indian hockey team inches closer to semis with a convincing 8-0 win over Japan in the Pool A match. 7 medals won on the 6th day of the Games. India placed 8th in the medals tally with 25 medals. First up, let's get you all the news from flood-ravaged Kerala. Nature's fury in Kerala has cast a shadow on Onam celebrations in the state today. In the wake of the massive floods that have hit Kerala over the last fortnight, the spirit of the Malayali community continues to be subdued. Heavy rains and unprecedented floods in Kerala this monsoon season have claimed 417 lives, while 36 people are still missing. At least 7,000 houses were destroyed in floods and another 50,000 partially damaged, and a total of 8.69 lakh people are still sheltered in 2,787 relief camps in the state. Chief Minister of the state, Pinarayi Vijayan, on Friday asked people who have been impacted by the floods to submit the details of the losses that they have suffered by logging on to the Kerala government website and provide the details. He also announced that 10,000 rupees will be transferred into the bank account of every person in the relief camps. Meanwhile, Union Health Ministry has announced that it would be allocating an additional grant of 18.71 crore rupees under the National Rural Health Mission towards the flood relief efforts in Kerala. The ministry had previously sent to Kerala a number of medications, including antibiotics, and was coordinating with other states to provide medicines to the relief camps. With some people returning home as the flood waters recede, but still lakhs of people are in relief camps, and the Kerala government is now taking up the task of cleaning up after the worst disaster in the state in a century and rehabilitating the affected. All right, my colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us from Trivandrum. Very good morning, Akhilesh. We'd like to know from you today's Onam, but you know, in the wake of the nature's fury in the state of Kerala, we understand that the celebrations are going to be subdued today. Tell us some more. How are the relief rebuilding efforts going on in the state?
Yeah, actually, you know that relief camps, the people in the relief camps are reducing. Number of people who are staying in the relief camps are going to their homes. And if the homes are livable, they can manage. So I think 5 lakh people almost have gone to their homes. And rest almost 7.5 lakhs are there in the relief camps. So government has also announced 10,000 rupees each who had been staying in the relief camp. So this is the, that initial, you can say that compensation, because it is any, though no strings are attached in this. But other than that, agriculture community is still facing that what it will do, because no compensation package has already been announced, because of the insurance is also under problem, because this period was not announced that it will be having excess rain, and that insurance has so many conditions. So though government has announced something that Union Agriculture Ministry's Pradhan Mantri crop insurance scheme, but that also needs to be registered, and government is collecting data that how many people had registered for that and for that condition. Most of the condition that had been put for the insurance were like lack of rains, temperature, summer. So some of the things has to be decided by the state, that whether any compensation without any condition can be given to the farmers, because farmers have been severely damaged, and whatever images you see, most of the areas submerged are still from the agricultural areas. You know that Kotinar area, that is called rice belt of Kerala, that is still submerged. I had gone there and we have seen that it will take, I think, not less than 10 more days or 15 days to water to recede. Leave it that it will become agricultural field. So agriculture is going to be having much more, it needs to be given much more attention. Other than that, business communities are going to get some, some interest-free loans from the government, and that loan will have also moratorium that they cannot pay, they may not be required to pay for 1.5 years. So these are the things that is coming on, but the major challenge I think the state will be going to face now is the lack of human resource, because most of the people of Kerala had been staying outside. Many of them have come just for the festival of Onam, but they are employed elsewhere and they will be going. So they are in a fix whether they will stay here or they will go back. Right. And most of the laboring community that had been coming from different states of India, like from Bihar, UP, West Bengal, and a few other, Odisha also. So now the state is facing whether they will return back or not. So if, till now, no laborer has come back from any other state. They had left when the flood came, because they were facing shelterless. So this is one of the major challenges that the state has to face. Other than that, the community is coming up very well. That's why I am really touched with the community's effort, that people in various groups, they have made groups of friends, fraternities. They are moving around with all the equipments, as well equipments. They are cleaning the houses of the people. They are also asking the houses whether any need is required. Even organizations related to political parties, they are also coming forward, and they are also moving around the houses in the cleaning process, in the relief distribution. Everyone is had collected some money, and they are making some packets and going to the areas and distributing food items and also essential items that can be useful for homes. So this is really something very good thing about in Kerala, and I think the way community has come up, so government also have some moral pressure on that, and since center has also told that it will not accept any fund donation from outside, both the state and central government is challenged this time, that they have to make the process of normalization sooner than later. So I think things are going on, that in a good pace, and I hope, everyone is hoping that 1 month will be enough to make the houses, at least houses, normal. Leave apart all those houses that has been damaged, that may take a few more months. But normal houses which are to be cleaned, where muds have gone there, this will be normal and livable for within 1 month, Aishwarya.
And Akhilesh, you've been reporting on the situation in the relief camps, and in fact, you just told us that the number of people are going back to their homes from the relief camps. And we understand that, the Health Ministry has issued an additional grant of close to 18 crore rupees as far as health issues are concerned. And after the floods, there were issues, there were concerns, often probably an epidemic, a number of diseases breaking out. But thankfully, that really has been kept under check. What is the situation in the relief camps as far as health is concerned?
That's the right question, Aswarya, because the relief camps have been made almost in good places, you know, that either they are colleges, schools, or any big institutions who had big auditoriums or like that. So cleanliness is being maintained at the relief camps, and I had traveled to many relief camps and have seen that people are maintaining the basic hygiene, and also they have been given space to sleep, and tea and coffee and these things, and water is abundant, drinking water is abundant there. So relief camps are an easy place, and they are actually the real solace for the people whose houses have been destroyed and who cannot stay in the houses. So as far as that question is concerned, everyone is sure that relief camps are really giving good relief to the people who have lost their houses. But other than that, you know, that medical teams are also moving around, and medical teams, not from the government side, but also from the private side. I was showing you the Sabha, Bharati people were also trying. The same way other organizations have also come up with the doctors and with the other, you know, that medicine and other things. And since you need to have a basic cleanliness around, and as far as I could see that Kerala is a state where basic cleanliness is kept. It is part of the habit of the people. You will not see, you know, that waste outside their homes. There is no encroachments, and you know, that all the drains are clear. So in that way, I don't think it will be major epidemics situation in coming days. Only thing that this debris that is coming out of the houses that are being cleaned, that needs to be properly managed, and state government has given instruction to the municipal bodies to segregate all the waste which are degradable and which are not biodegradable, and remove it from the source itself, segregate it from at the source itself and remove it at the source itself, so that it doesn't need to be dumped at one place and it has to be again taken care of. So I think that things are going on in a proper pace. And I will give credit to the state people also, that who have a habit of keeping hygiene, basic hygiene as part of their lifestyle. So this is also a good part of the whole situation, that yes, state and people are coming forward to take care of themselves and also to their neighbors and friends and fraternities. But still water is there in some parts of the state. Even in the urban area, there is some areas where water is still logged. But it will go in a natural way. It is going, and in agriculture areas, in the rural areas, water is logged at many places, but it is coming out. And I think that it will take a week where normal movement will be established in the urban areas, and in rural areas it will take some more time, around 10 days or so.
All right. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates. So rebuilding efforts continue there in Kerala, even as you know, the state is celebrating Onam festival today. But of course, the nature's fury really has cast a shadow on the celebrations, and people are celebrating Onam in a very subdued way today. And continuing with the weather situation in other states of the country, in Uttar Pradesh, 5 people have been killed in rain-related incidents in the last 24 hours in various districts. As per officials, 2 persons died in Allahabad, 1 person each died in Azamgarh, Pratapgarh and in Lucknow. And apart from this, 3 people were also injured. Meanwhile, in the state of Assam, 3 persons were killed in landslides following torrential rains since Thursday night. District administration has announced an ex gratia of 4 lakh rupees to the next of the kin of those killed. And in Himachal Pradesh, the government has requested the centre for at least 200 crore rupees as financial aid to meet the huge losses caused by the recent floods in the state. Chief Minister Jairam Thakur said that 35 people were killed during the monsoon rains in the state this season. Several roads as well as water and power supply are disrupted, and the state government has already provided 230 crore rupees to different departments and affected districts against an estimated loss of 990 crore rupees. And Uttarakhand is on alert following the warning of a very heavy rainfall in the area for the next 2 days. Following the warning, the state government has asked the authorities in all the districts to be extra vigilant and has asked people living on the embankment areas of the rivers to go to safer places. Roads and bridges have also been damaged at several places due to incessant rainfall. Now, news from flood-hit Karnataka, where Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has assured all help from the government for the flood and landslide-ravaged parts of Kodagu. Speaking to media persons in Madikeri on Friday, she said that Indian Defence Forces will extend all assistance in the relief measures, including those concerning infrastructure development. Sitharaman visited a few relief camps and she spoke to the people taking refuge there. She said that once the Central Assessment Team evaluates the loss, the government will decide about the package. More than 17 people have lost their lives in the state till now.
Whether it's the national highway or the state highway or the village connectivity roads, we have to be very careful of how we are going to restore it. I will definitely meet up with Nitin Gadkari on the roads. I will speak to Home Minister because he takes care of the National Disaster Relief Funding. And obviously, certainly go back to the Prime Minister to give him a report of what I've seen here and what I've heard from all of you.
On to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the BIMSTEC summit in Nepal next week. Countering terrorism, enhancing regional connectivity and boosting trade will be the key focus of the seven-nation international organization of South Asia and Southeast Asia. The leaders at the summit are also likely to deliberate upon having a tri-services military exercise among the member nations, besides exchanging views on a free trade agreement. BIMSTEC member nations include Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bhutan and Nepal. Prime Minister Modi is also expected to hold bilateral meetings with the several leaders on the sidelines of the summit.
BIMSTEC, as a regional grouping, the importance of it is growing both in terms of economic and strategic terms. It is home to 1.6 billion people, so nearly 22% of the world's population. It has a combined GDP of $2.8 trillion. It brings together like-minded countries with a common commitment to peace, prosperity, and development of its people. With a shared heritage, shared values, and shared ways of life, it is a natural platform to build a common future.
And the Election Commission has called an all-party meeting ahead of the next year's Lok Sabha elections on Monday. The agenda for the meeting includes views of all parties on measures to improve the accuracy, transparency and inclusivity of electoral rolls. The Election Commission will hold discussions on measures taken by political parties to encourage enhanced representation of women within the organizational structure and in the candidate selection for contesting elections. The poll watchdog will also discuss issues related to expenditure, ceiling for legislative council elections and also limiting political party expenditure. Also on the agenda will be banning of political advertisements in print media 48 hours before the day of polling on the line of the restriction on electronic media. All 7 registered national parties and 51 state political parties are invited to participate in this meeting. Union Minister Piyush Goyal has accused the previous UPA regime of causing a massive rise in NPAs by pressurizing the banks to give out huge loans. Addressing the India banking conclave in New Delhi, Goyal said that the NDA government believes in the policy of not interfering in the functioning of the banks. Here is a report.
Union Minister Piyush Goyal has said that banks are a medium to speed up economic development of the country. Addressing the India banking conclave in New Delhi, Goyal said that the government inherited the banking crisis from the previous UPA government in 2014. He said during the UPA regime, banks were pressured to give out huge loans.
Through the decade 2004 to 14, while most other banks faltered in their lending practices, faltered in their ability to recognize the problems that they were facing, did not truly reflect the stress on their balance sheet in the books of account, but continued to show huge profits, continued to expand their credit book, almost by 3 times.
Goel said that a few state-run and private sector banks did not follow rules during demonetization and carried out activities that tainted their image. He expressed hope that banks will bring about change in their approach, training and recruitment process.
Regulation and autonomy both are being brought in to an extent where a private bank, a foreign bank and a public sector bank will all be able to work on an equal footing with the same level of autonomy.
Former Finance Minister Piyush Goel also said that the government believes in the policy of not interfering in the functioning of banks. With inputs from Panchanan Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in a landmark verdict on the 2010 Mirchpur Dalit killing case, the Delhi High Court has awarded a life term to 12 accused in the case. 21 other convicts have been sentenced to varying jail terms. The trial court had earlier convicted only 15 of the 98 persons accused in the case, but the High Court set aside the acquittal of 20 persons. Of the 20 persons whose acquittal was reversed, 5 were awarded life term and other 15 sentenced to jail terms of 1 to 2 years by the High Court. The High Court said that there was a deliberate targeting of the houses of the Valmiki community members by the Jats. On the 21st of April 2010, the houses of victim Tara Chand were set ablaze by the members of the Jat community after a dispute at Mirchpur village in Haryana's Hisar district. 60-year-old father and his daughter were burnt alive in the act. And India could see its first flight fueled by biofuel on Monday. Domestic carrier SpiceJet will test a plane from Dehradun to Delhi that uses biofuel. The aircraft is likely to be a turboprop, which will carry officials from the DGCA and also other aviation bodies on board to ascertain the feasibility of biofuel drive aircraft. The aim of the test is to make air travel economical and also bring some respite to the airlines reeling under high fuel price through the use of alternate fuel. Biofuel is produced from renewable resources like vegetable oils, recycled grease and animal fat and can serve as an alternative in place of fossil fuels. If the test on Monday brings success, India could join a select few countries such as the US and Australia who have biofuel-operated commercial aircrafts. Prasar Bharati has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Mizima Media of Myanmar. The agreement will ensure cooperation and collaboration in various fields of broadcasting. It also envisions content sharing over a wide range of genres, including culture, entertainment, education, science, news and sports. The MOU is expected to give a further boost to India and Myanmar relations as well.
इंस्टेंस है जहां हमने एक प्राइवेट मीडिया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ MOU साइन किया है और मिजिमा ग्रुप म्यांमार का एक स्टार्टअप मीडिया कंपनी है. इसके जो फाउंडर्स हैं यंग है और इनका भारत देश के साथ बहुत ही गहरा रिश्ता है. तो ये एक तरह से ये MOU इज़ अ बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक इन इंडिया म्यांमार रिलेशन. इट्स एन इन्वेस्टमेंट फॉर द फ्यूचर और जो PM मोदी का एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी है ये उसको आगे बढ़ाता है.
On to our top international focus, Donald Trump has called off the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's visit to North Korea. In a series of tweets, Donald Trump said that North Korea has made insufficient progress in dismantling its nuclear program. Donald Trump also targeted China for not putting enough pressure on North Korea on the issue due to trade tensions with the US. Pompeo was scheduled to visit North Korea next week. Donald Trump's announcement comes days after the UN's nuclear watchdog IAEA said that North Korea is continuing with its nuclear program. Donald Trump said that North Korea was no longer a nuclear threat after the historic summit in June, but negotiations between both the nations have stalled since then. And the US has cancelled more than $200 million in aid for the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and West Bank. The decision was made at the direction of President Donald Trump after a review of the aid programs to the Palestinian territories. And according to White House officials, the funding will now address high-priority projects elsewhere. Remember, relations between the US and the Palestinian Authority took a nosedive after Donald Trump announced the US's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. In January, US made drastic cuts to its contribution to the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees. The decision to cut Palestinian funding comes amid a humanitarian crisis going on in Gaza, which has seen a surge of violence since Palestinian protests began in March, in which 171 Palestinians have been killed so far. And now all the action from the ongoing Asian Games. Indian duo of Rohan Bopanna and Divij Sharan won the gold medal in the men's doubles tennis. They defeated Alexander Rublik and Denis Yevseyev of Kazakhstan 6-3, 6-4. While in the men's singles, Prajnesh Gunaswaran won a bronze medal after losing his semi-final match to Uzbekistan's Denis Istomin 2-6, 2-6. In the women's kabaddi, India settled for silver after losing to Iran in the final. The two-time defending champions India lost to Iran 24-27. And in shooting, Hina Sindhu claimed her maiden Asian Games individual medal in the women's 10 meters air pistol event. Sindhu bagged the bronze medal with an overall score of 219.2. While China's Wang Qiu won gold and South Korea's Kim Min-jung took the silver. And Datu Bhokal, Swaran Singh, Om Prakash and Sukhmeet Singh won the first gold medal of the day yesterday in the men's quadruple sculls. And in the men's lightweight double sculls, Rohit Kumar and Bhagwan Singh won the bronze. And Dushant bagged the bronze medal in the men's lightweight single sculls category. Meanwhile, in hockey, reigning champions India continued their winning streak at the Asian Games as the men's team notched up a spirited 8-0 victory against Japan in their third Pool A match. And with 7 medals won on the 6th day of the Asian Games, India is now placed 8th in the medals tally with the 25 medals that include 6 gold, 5 silver and 14 bronze medals, while China with the 139 medals including 66 gold tops the medal tally, followed by Japan with 103 medals including 29 gold medals. And South Korea is placed 3rd in the medals tally with the 78 medals including 23 gold medals. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.